Recorded on Monday, January 28th, this is your Daily Detroit. I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Sven Gustafson, coming you from the snowy podcast Detroit studios in Royal Oak. As they say in France, il neige. And I would also add to any podcast hosts that are using this studio later, that was me who shoveled the front walk. You're welcome. And it goes without saying, if you're hearing this and it's still terrible outside, be careful. On to the show.
Today's episode is brought to you in part by Milo Digital. Milo Digital is a full-service digital marketing agency that engineers quality results through data and innovative strategies. Learn more at milodetroit.com.
Detroit-based Chemical Bank and Minnesota-based TCF Bank are merging. The TCF name will win out after the deal closes, with all Chemical Bank branches switching over to that name. But the Twin Cities is losing the corporate headquarters of TCF, as the combined bank will be based in downtown Detroit and known as TCF. The banks say they'll be able to cut about $180 million in annual costs with the merger. They describe the cuts to branches as minimal. The deal is still subject to regulatory approval, but it's generally expected to go through. The companies are calling it a merger of equals. The combined company would have $45 billion in assets, $35 billion in total deposits, and around 10,000 employees. They'll be spread over 9 states and 500 branches. The headquarters in Detroit will have about 500 employees working in it when it's done. As we've previously reported, they're building a new structure between the State Theater and the Fife Building on Woodward, where they're moving their headquarters from Midland. Chemical Bank has been a rising star in Michigan's financial scene. It acquired Talmer Bank in 2016, making it the largest bank headquartered in Michigan.
Well, and here's an interesting little fact. TCF was founded back in 1928 and renamed in the 1930s as the, drumroll please, Twin City Federal Savings and Loan Association. So the TC in TCF stands for Twin City. That will now be based in Detroit. I wonder if they'll change that little brand story on the acronym.
I'm just proud that I said, what does TCF stand for? And I said Twin Cities Financial. I was close.
That was a great guess right off the bat. Organizers of the North American International Auto Show say attendance fell slightly at this year's show. It was the 30th anniversary of the show under the NAIAS banner, and its last year being held during the winter. A little more than 774,000 people bought tickets during the show's public days, which wrapped up Sunday. That's a drop of almost 35,000 from last year. The numbers of product reveals and credentialed journalists who covered the show were also down. German automakers Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi all chose to skip this year's show, adding to a growing list of companies that have declined to exhibit in Detroit in recent years. Auto shows around the world are struggling for relevance as automakers tighten their purse strings and target fewer auto shows, alternative events like the CES Technology Conference, or standalone product unveilings. Starting next year, the Detroit Auto Show moves to June. Organizers hope that having the ability to offer outdoor displays and ride and drive events will lure back some of those companies. Exhibit costs are also expected to be lower, in part because there are no holidays during which automakers have to pay overtime to set up crews.
The man affectionately known as Gibby has a new role with the Detroit Tigers. The team announced that Kirk Gibson has been named a special assistant to Al Avila, the Tigers' executive vice president of baseball operations and general manager. Gibson will assist in on-field duties at both the major league and minor league levels. He'll be involved in all personnel meetings, travel throughout the minor league system, and participate in community relations. Gibby's also keeping his job inside the booth. He'll be a part-time color commentator on Fox Sports Detroit broadcasts alongside new play-by-play host Matt Shepard, sharing duties with former Tigers pitching legend Jack Morris. Gibson spent 12 years with the Tigers as a player and was a member of the 1984 championship team, the last championship the Tigers have won. The photograph of him raising his arms in celebration after hitting a 3-run homer against the Padres late in Game 5 has come to define that entire team and season. Gibson also won a World Series with the LA Dodgers.
Folks, today we have a slew of food news.
First up, Mudgee's has a new program to help people in need. We thought it was something we should share with you all. The Corktown Deli now has wooden tokens that you can purchase for $5. You can purchase them and then give them to people who could use a hot meal. The owners of Mudgies say they were inspired by a deli in Vancouver, Canada that created a similar program back in 2012. The tokens are good for a sandwich, cup of soup, or side salad, and a warm drink. At the end of the year, Mudgies will use the tokens that weren't redeemed and make a donation to a local charity.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, what is the coziest restaurant of them all? According to Travel and Leisure magazine, in Michigan, it's a place called Camp Ticonderoga. Located in Troy on Rochester Road between Long Lake and Square Lake, the place sports a big fireplace, a wall of photos of customers' dogs, a rustic theme, and a website straight out of 2001. Checking it out did bring a smile to me, Sven. I enjoyed that a lot.
Does it say, welcome to our website, click here to enter?
It does not, but it pretty much should have at that point. Maybe the reason it's so cozy is its neat history. When Troy was first settled in the 1820s, Henry Blount purchased the land that is now the Sylvan Glen Golf Course and built a 2-story home. In the early 1900s, the house was modified into separate living quarters for 3 maiden aunts of the Blount family. Members of the Blount family continued to live there until 1924, when the home and land were sold to develop the golf course. Then the home was remodeled into a restaurant. Camp Ticonderoga has made the old Blount family home their home since 1996.
In other bar news, Ale Mary's in downtown Royal Oak is now offering cocktails with a splash of CBD. That's the substance derived from cannabis. Eater reports the craft beer bar and restaurant will offer 3 cocktails made with Sprig, a California-based maker of flavored sodas canned with cannabidiol. The company derives its CBD from the industrial hemp plant as opposed to marijuana, which makes it legal here in Michigan. The CBD-flavored sodas don't pack the same psychoactive effects as marijuana, but are said to produce a calming and relaxing vibe, which I guess means it's kind of like Bob Marley once sang, once it hits, you feel no pain. Cocktails will set you back about $10. We'll link to the Eater story in the show notes.
Daily Detroit is brought to you in part by Bamboo Detroit. With an inclusive community, flexible modern offices, classes, and networking events, Bamboo Detroit helps entrepreneurs and innovative companies launch, land, or expand in Detroit. Become one of their more than 400 members today at bamboodetroit.com.
Ping pong is no more in downtown Detroit, at least as far as we're aware. If we're wrong and there's some bar out there, some dive bar in downtown Detroit that still offers ping pong, please let us know. We want to know about it. But that's because Drive Table Tennis Social Club inside the Penobscot building is now closed. The table tennis and bar venue had been going for 6 years. But in a Facebook post promoting their final party, which was last Friday, they say they're looking for a new location.
You know, Sven, I like the idea of different things to do around town for sure.
So do I.
But the Penobscot's just a weird place for entertainment things.
I used to get my teeth cleaned inside there.
That dentist, what, on the second floor, third floor?
Yep.
The thing is about going to stuff at the Penobscot, and the parking isn't great. And I know that I am not Mr. Pro car parking everywhere, but I also know that a lot of people, they look at parking when they're coming downtown.
We need parking.
There isn't much of it around the Penobscot building that people know about. There's a lot that office workers know about, and there isn't that much as far as entertainment goes. I mean, now there's that new food hall that's across the way there in that building with Maru Sushi and all that kind of stuff. But It never seemed like the hours matched up. And I really wish this one had stuck around. Ping pong's a fun thing to do.
Absolutely. Fans of ping pong, you might like to note that the New Way Bar up in Ferndale on Woodward, they have a ping pong table in there. I've been going there lately. It's fun. I'm not great at ping pong, but it's fun to play.
Anyone who wants to challenge Sven to ping pong, email us, dailydetroit@gmail.com.
You'll probably win.
I don't know if you missed it, but apparently a lot of people missed the Pretzel Crust Pizza by Little Caesars. The company says there were petitions, phone calls, and emails to bring that type of pizza back. In fact, they say it's their most requested menu item change. Pulled off the menu in 2015, the Pretzel Crust Pizza is a large butter-flavored soft pretzel crust pizza with cheddar cheese sauce, mozzarella, and Munster cheeses and pepperoni, not to mention pretzel salt on the crust. It's available now starting from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at participating Little Caesars locations. So we'll have a picture up on dailydetroit.com, but Sven, do you remember this one? And looking at these pictures, man, there's cheddar cheese sauce on the pizza. This isn't like cheddar sauce in the pretzel. It's like on the pizza.
I don't remember it, and I would try it. it's the more I think about it and try to conceptualize it, it's like not pizza. It's a pretzel with pepperoni on it and some other cheeses.
That's a brilliant observation.
And that'll do it for your Daily Detroit for today. I'm Sven Gustafson. Like what we're doing? Be sure to tell a friend about our show.
And I'm Jer Stays. Take care of each other, and we'll see you around Detroit.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.